Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success. Hello and welcome to the Success for Women show, where you can view us on Pod TV. I am Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, your host, and my mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Well, today's topic is You Are a Visionary. And my guest is going to talk to you about events. And if you're planning to have an event or even just thinking about an event, then you are going to get some great nuggets tonight. My guest is Shay Wheat. And Shay is a certified event producer and creator of popular programs such as the Powerful Event Process, the Ultimate Event Planner Certification Program, and CEO. She's the CEO of Grace and Ease Productions. Grace and Ease Productions Incorporated supports clients in creating powerful and profitable events, producing in-person and live virtual events from 50 to 4,000 plus attendees, and collaborating with many well-known celebrities such as Dr. Oz, Lisa Nichols, Dr. Claire Zammit, Bill Barron, Allison J. Prince, Josh Turner, and many, many others. She assists speak to sell clients to be extremely profitable with their events. Just recently, one of her clients generated over $2.1 million in one virtual live 3-day event. Now, don't you want to hear what she has to say about putting together an event? So, welcome to my guest, Shay Wheat.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness.
Excited to have you here to just pick your brain because look, I'm thinking of having a women's conference, and I'm like, okay, she's great. I'm just gonna get some nuggets from her and
Yes. Let's plan it. Let's make it happen. What questions can I answer?
But before we get started, I always give the viewers the standard bio on my guests, but I always like to ask them to tell us what you want us to know about Shay Wheat.
Well, personally, the woman Shay Wheat. I live in California, but I absolutely love traveling and having experiential situations happen. So whether it be trying a new place for dinner or, going out for a hike or just doing something engaging, because honestly, I sit at my desk a lot. So I want to make sure that I'm doing something out in the world and making it as vibrant of a life as I possibly can. So that's the woman Shay Wheat. I'm also a Reiki master, which is an energetic healer. I bring that into my event space, and I'm really, really honored and privileged to have an amazing team that helps and supports all of my clients in taking all the logistics off of their plate so they can show up and be the event host and really love on their audience,
Mhm.
pour into them, and get them crazy awesome results.
Wow. Well, I understand what you mean about sitting behind the desk, and sometimes you just have to, come from behind that desk and do some things, just
Mhm.
get out into the world, so to speak.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's get right to it because I want to get as much of the nuggets that you have as I can.
Okay.
So tell us, what type of event should I be doing based on the level of business that I'm at? I mean, how do you figure out just what type of event? Like I said, I wanted to do, I'd like to do a conference.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
how would I figure that out?
Yeah. So depending on where you're at in business, there are probably over 17 different types of events that you can be utilizing to grow your business and engage your audience. So we could be looking at a 90-minute workshop or a masterclass, a webinar. We can be looking at summits. We can look at retreats, masterminds, 1-day sales and enrollment events, 3-day sales and enrollment events, seminars, podcasts, meetups, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, Clubhouse rooms. Like there's a number of different types of events that you can use, and you use the events strategically within your business.
Mhm.
So there's actually 5 different levels that you can go through when you're building your business and using different types of events. So if you're, let's say, in phase 2, you're really looking for lead gen opportunities. You're looking to find your audience and bring them into your space and bring them into your world. So you're going to want to focus more on events that are your Facebook Lives, your Instagram Lives, your Clubhouse rooms, the platforms that are more free. It also allows you, as the event host and the speaker, to really hone in on your message, hone in on your niche, to really support what are they leaning into, what are they not leaning into. It's like that testing phase. Then when
Mhm.
you move into phase 3, you're moving into the grow phase. Now you're really looking at your master classes, your 90-minute workshops, your summits, your retreats, that sort of thing, where you're bringing the audience into your platform, into your space versus like a free platform. Bring them into your space, teaching them content, giving them call to actions that then get them on the phone with you. And then you
Mhm.
move on to phase 4 and phase 5, which I can definitely go into a little bit more detail. I can give a gift away for sure that explains it all as well. But that's when you start strategically using your 1-day events, your 3-day events, your conferences, your workshops, and making it powerful, engaging, and profitable all at the same time.
Wow. I mean, I know that it's really a lot of work to put together, especially face to face. And I know a lot of
Mhm.
people have been doing a lot of virtual events, since the pandemic. So, are you seeing where you're getting, people coming to you wanting you to help them with more of the virtual event as opposed to face? And do you think that right now that's still the virtual events are still a good idea? And can you generate as much income, sort
Mm.
of, with a virtual event?
Yeah, yeah. So I was actually reading a stat the other day that was talking about the state of virtual events, and it was like a 2022 global survey. And as attendees, 75% said that they would attend virtual events after in
Mhm.
person fully resumes. And 84% of attendees would like to always have some type of virtual option. So, what that tells me is that virtual will never die, especially the way that we really run virtual events now, how we really make it engaging, how we really kind of allow the audience to be a part of the experience versus just watching some talking heads, right?
Mhm.
We have shifted how we did it pre-pandemic to the way we do it now. Now that we've made it so engaging, we can't go back to where we were. We have to move forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
So virtual events, we do see some kind of stats rolling out. Virtual events do tend to convert a little less than when you're in person. However, the expanded reach you're able to have with a virtual event tends to make up for those numbers.
Okay.
So, depending on where you're at in your business and where your audience is located, I'm going
Mhm.
to be asking a couple of questions to my potential clients and saying, okay, where's your audience at? How are they showing up? How have they engaged with you in the past? What are you looking to do? What is your event promise? That's a key writer downer. Every event you do, you must have an event promise.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is when they go through the event, one, why are they showing up in the first place? What are they going to be learning? What are they going to be doing? What are they getting out of it? By the end of the event, what is that promise that they've walked away with? Whether they do business with you or not, there must be an event promise that you actually deliver. Okay. So, what is that event promise? And based on that, we're going to go ahead and take a look. Does an in-person make sense, or does a virtual make sense, or does a hybrid make sense? Hybrid is a completely different beast. And so I tend to lead my clients towards one or the other, just
Mhm.
because when you're doing hybrid, you're doing two events. You've
Oh,
got two teams, you've got two audiences, you get to engage with them a little bit differently. You create two run of shows. It's a little bit more in depth. And if this is your first go around of doing an event, let's just say it's a 50-person event, my
mhm.
suggestion would be taking a look at starting virtual and work your way towards doing in person or hybrid.
Wow. That's a lot.
A lot, yeah.
That's a lot. So, how would you gain clients with, especially with virtual events? And I know that you have certain steps that you do, but when you're doing a virtual event, how can you actually get clients? For that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our clients that come to us for producing their events will take a look at a 1 day or a 3 day event. And
Mhm.
we're utilizing this event as an opportunity for them to talk to one to many on that audience. So they're looking to the event intention for them as a
Mhm.
business is to fill their 6 month or their year-long program. So if that is their intention internally, how they're utilizing the event as a part of their business plan, we
Mhm.
then reverse engineer how we're going to support them in doing that. So let's just say they want to have 20 people join their 6 month or year long program, and they
Mhm.
want to use a 3 day event in order to do that, in order to support them.
Mhm.
And let's say, their program is a $10,000 program for the year. Okay. We're going to go, okay, fantastic. Your end goal is 20 people enrolled into your program. Now we get to take a look at how the heck are we going to do that? So there's actually 5 event fundamentals for any event that you're doing that you're going to want to put into place. The
Mhm.
first one is you're going to want to take a look at your audience and your ticket sales. Who are you talking to, and how do you plan on filling the room? In order to do this, we end up mapping out for our clients is what we call a ticket map. And so in your ticket map is literally all the different ways that you plan on reaching your audience in order to fill the room. So again, with that end result in mind, if you have 20 people buying your program, we assume a 20% conversion rate. You do all the numbers. I would just break this out one by one for each person. We would
Mhm.
be able to know, okay, this is how many tickets you need to sell and be in the room with you in order to hit your end goal.
Okay.
Now, of course, that's the black and white numbers. Now we get to take a look at point number 2 of the fundamental is your run a show. What is the journey we're taking them on? Your audience is here. We know that they're coming to you because you fix something, you support them in a certain pain point, you do something like whether you're in health and fitness, you're going to be helping them drop a dress size. Or if you're in business, you're going to help them get more speaking engagements. Whatever it is that you do to support your audience, there's a journey that you take them on. And
Mhm.
by setting up your run a show in a way that is not only engaging, but it's beneficial, it's content driven, and it's not just content dumping on them. They actually get in here and we're workshopping it out, and we're, doing the messaging, or we're, looking up all the places that you can do speaking engagements, or, this is really cute. One of my clients ended up doing a What the Duck cooking school.
Mhm.
So like we literally showed you how to be making the meals to help you drop the dress sizes, right? So we want to make sure it's really, really super engaging.
Mhm.
Once we have our run a show, we look at number 3, event fundamental, which is your offer strategy. So in that arc, in that journey, we need to offer a next step. And the logical next step is to join you in your program. So what does that look like? And how are people supporting you in making that offer? Which brings me to point number 4, your support team.
Okay.
Just like your show here, you are not doing this all by yourself, right? You
Right.
have your producer that came on and was like, hey, how's it going? Okay, this is how the event's going to go. We'll do the countdown and then you'll be live, so on and so forth. You have your support team that's sending out your email reminders and finding guests for you. Everybody that supports you, same thing for an event, you require a support team.
Okay.
And then the 5th thing that we do in the event fundamentals is taking a look at your budget.
Mhm.
Events can be expensive.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you don't know. I've had clients that have gone and booked their own hotels without having us go and negotiate it for them, like before they hired us. They're like, oh, I already have my venue. And I look at their contract and I'm like,
Wow.
okay, well, I'm going to see if I can change some of this, because the hotel contract is in the best interest of the hotel.
Hotel. Right.
It's not in your best interest.
Exactly.
And we've been able to save our client over $15,000 just by adjusting the hotel contract.
Wow.
Right? So I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at your budget, I'm making sure what we're putting into it is still going to, on the back end, really support you and filling your event all at the same time, because I want it to be a win-win-win across the board. So the way that we look at events is not only from these event fundamentals, but we're also looking at it from the experience of the audience. And that's what creates an events that are highly engaging, highly experiential. People are getting a glimpse into what it looks like to really join your community, because in the end, that's what we want to shine.
Right.
You are the expert.
Mhm.
Please, please, please let us help you let that shine, because when it comes down to it, people need you. And I feel it is a disservice to your community if we can't get you out there to find your people, to help them do what they know, that I know you can support them with.
Mhm. Wow. But the thing of it is, doing events or having events, it's really, I guess it could be a little scary, because you talked about, filming events, but how do you actually fill the event? Because say, for example, I just get up one day and say, I want to do an event, but maybe nobody really, I don't, know me that well. How do I fill my event, to get people to, how do I get attendees? How do I get people to come? I mean, it's like they may say, oh yeah, she's that title sounds good, but I don't know her.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's the phases. There's the phases of event leverage. So in the beginning, if you're just now starting in business and you don't have a list, I'm not going to suggest you run a 3-day sales and enrollment event.
Okay.
You're more in phase 2. You're in lead generation. You're going out and finding your clients. You're going and getting them crazy awesome results. You're doing the events that are a little bit smaller, but it's not a whole lot of money investment, and you're finding your tribe, you're finding your community. Now, whether you're doing a Facebook Live or you're doing, a 10-person or 20-person or 50-person event, we always do a ticket map. Okay. So for our audience here, if you've got a piece of paper, you're going to want to write this down. All right. You got your pen and paper. Okay, cool. So the first column is going to be the opportunity or the ticket source. Okay. We're going to have a bunch of different columns. So opportunity or your ticket source. What are all the ways that you connect with your audience? Are you looking to your past clients or your past mastermind? Are you going to be emailing your list and offering a ticket to your event? Are you doing a webinar? Are you a speaker sponsor on somebody else's stage that has your ideal audience? Are you asking for referrals? Maybe you've had product sales or digital courses that you can gift them a ticket with the purchase of that smaller course, gift them a ticket to your event. Speaking engagements, joint venture partner calls, all the different ways that you plan on engaging with your audience that you know they are here. This is where they hang out, and I'm able to speak and connect with them and make my offer to, if it's to your event, it's like a ticket sale. If it is a call to action to grow your list and you're more in phase 2, maybe it's to your lead magnet, whatever your call to action is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's the first column. The second column is going to be the anticipated number of prospects, the people that are in the room. Mm-hmm. So, if you're emailing your list and you have 600 people on your list, and you know that, 50% of them open it, your number's 300. Okay. If you're doing a webinar, you know that 50 people you're expecting on your webinar. If you're doing a sponsorship or a speaking engagement and there's 50 people in the room, that's your ideal audience. What is the anticipated number of prospects in the room? Then the next column is going to be your anticipated conversion. This is a percentage. So how many people do you feel after you give your talk or after you make your offer or your call to action are going to say yes to that offer? We're seeing, depending on what it is you're offering, if it's a lead magnet, it's a free lead magnet, and it's your ideal audience, you could have 75 people pick up your free lead magnet, and if your goal and intention is not necessarily event tickets, but it's to grow your list, fantastic. So what is that percentage? If it's a speaking engagement, we see about a 10 to 30%. So if you don't know what your conversion rate is there, just go with a 20%. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that column. The next one is your projected ticket sales. So what we've done is we've had our opportunity, we've had our anticipated number of prospects, we've got our conversion rate, and now we have our projected ticket sales. That's how we're going to start doing every single line item in order to add up those projected ticket sales. So let's say you had a goal of 50 people. How many different things are you going to have to do to add up all those projected ticket sales to hit 50? So instead of just throwing spaghetti at the wall, we now have a black and white roadmap of how we're going to hit that number. On top of that, I want you to oversell your goal. So if your goal is 50 people, I want you to be selling 60 or 70 tickets. Why is that? Why do you think that is, Dr. Madeline?
Well, because I would think if your goal is 50, but you sell 60, then you've actually overshot your goal, and which is better.
Which is better, yeah. And people don't always show, right?
Yeah, that too.
Stuff comes up. We know stuff comes up. Yeah. And people have the best intentions to show up to your event or what have you, but we want to account for that no-show rate. So if you're accounting for a 10 or 20% no-show rate, then oversell your goal. So that way, when you actually have your event, you have 50 people that have actually shown up.
Wow.
That's how we fill the room. So we help you map out what is the best plan for you based on your event, based on your ticket price, based on what it is that we're doing on the back end. All of that comes into play to map out your ticket map. And then you just go and you make it happen. You do the speaking engagements, you do the webinar, you do the clubhouses, whatever it is on that roadmap to hit your numbers. Okay. And it becomes a living, breathing document. You could be like, oh, yeah, that speaking engagement, I thought there was going to be 50 people there. I'd have a 20% conversion rate. I expected 10 tickets. Actually, there was 75 people and I converted at 30%. Now I overshot my goal. Fantastic. And then, of course, the other way around, I thought there was going to be 50 people. There was actually 30 people. I have to add in another speaking gig in order to hit my numbers. But you know it in the moment versus getting up to the event itself and realizing that you've only sold 5 tickets. And now you're scrambling to hit 50.
Okay. Wow. So do you think we know that you mentioned hybrid. So what do you think, virtual, in person, or hybrid? Which one do you think is better to choose?
Depends on where you're at in your business. So I have clients that are newer. They're in, phase 4, phase 5 of their business, but they're looking at doing a 3-day event for the first time. And so let me give you just an example of one in particular I'm thinking of. She doesn't like virtual. It drains her. It energetically drains her. Okay, great. Then we're going to go ahead and do an in-person, right? I have another client of mine that's like, I've got people all over the world that are on my list, and I don't know what is the best option. And it's also one of her first events as well. For her, I recommend a virtual, a live event. So we are having her go into a studio. So it's still very professional and very engaging, and she can see all of the people on Zoom and she can engage with them on chat and still have it be very interactive. But it allows people from overseas, it allows people on the East Coast, on the Pacific Coast, all over the US to join in because her audience is very global. And that's the best event for her right now. It's also a little bit easier on the budget. Yeah. And then we're also in the process of planning a couple of hybrid events right now. My hybrid events are more for my clients that have been doing this for years. They have a very, very amazing following. And we're getting to the point now where we haven't had a chance to be in person for 2 years. And her audience is itching to be in person again. And she also has a very global audience. So a hybrid works for her. She also has the team to support a hybrid event and the budget.
This is just great information that you are sharing with us tonight. We're getting some great nuggets. So I hope that my viewers out there, you're taking great notes, especially if you're planning on having an event, thinking about it. As I said, I've been tossing it around myself, trying to decide if I want to do a retreat, if I want to do a conference, like you said. The one day, I don't think I would want to do it more than one day, but no, retreats, a lot of times those tend to be at, a couple of days, maybe
days.
And something like that.
And smaller, more intimate, right? So it goes back to, what is your vision for your business? I've got lifestyle businesses that people really love the workshop and retreat model. They want to I had somebody, they rented a mansion, okay? Because they love like that feel. They did 2 retreats, essentially back to back. So rented a mansion for, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks, had 10 clients come to the retreat, rock it out for 3 days, a day break in between, and then did another 3-day retreat. Charged $5,000 per person to come. Let's just do a little bit of math. So $5,000, had 20 people over 2 events, made $100,000.
Okay.
For 6 days of events. but she got to get in there and really like work on their content and work on their messaging and really craft things with them.
Wow.
Mhm.
This is great. We are at the half hour mark now, so we're going to go ahead and take a break. And then we are going to come back so you can share some more of those great nuggets with us. My guest tonight is Miss Shay Wheat. She's a certified event producer, and she's given us some great nuggets. So we're going to take a break and come back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, host of the Successful Women Show, which airs every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Women in the workplace, women in business, and women who aspire to become business owners, live their dreams, and reach their goals. So join us Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're back. We are back again. And of course, you're listening to this, viewing the Successful Women Show. My guest is Shay Wheat, who is a certified event producer, and she is giving us some great nuggets. Now, I just have to ask before I get to the next question that I have. When I was reading your bio, I read where you just had a client that generated over $2.1 million in one virtual live 3-day event. Now, is this someone who has been in business for a long time? And how do you generate that type of income for a 3-day live event? I mean,
Mhm.
really difficult to do. I mean, wouldn't
Yeah,
you knock
it
on the door and get the
Right, yes, fantastic question. She has been in business for a while. She has had a following, and so was able to draw upon when we did that ticket map that I was talking about earlier, she was able to go back to a lot of her past clients. So what she had was an offering, her past clients was probably like two or $3,000 programs that people had gone through already, and the next best step was to move into this next program. It was a really, really in-depth, year-long program. I believe the price point was around $20,000 to do a training with her, like really event business, not event business, business in a box,
okay,
essentially.
okay.
And so she was able to draw heavily upon people that already knew, like, and trust her, already had been through a lot of the training, and they came to the event. So they were already involved in their culture, and this was the next best step for them. And then we did all the same event fundamentals, walked her through the process of the run a show. They were like, yeah, makes sense. Let's do it. And was able to have an amazing $2.1 million event.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Most of our clients are more in the six figures.
Okay.
But yes, it can be easily done
Mhm.
with a 50-person event.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
You don't need to have hundreds of thousands of people.
Right.
You can do it with 20 people. I had one client had 21 people in the room
Mm-hmm.
and ended up creating $120,000 in 3 days.
Wow.
But it's all because we take a look at who is your audience. You've already been loving on your audience and pouring into your audience. And this is the logical next best step
Mm-hmm.
for them, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I noticed that one of our viewers in the chat room, Renee Wilhite, she said that I have found that having people that understand your vision are the best people to hire, even down the setting up and cleanup staff, even down to the setup and cleanup staff. They sincerely are excited about your vision and willing to help.
Yes,
So,
Renee.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, you always, need those people that's you know, knows your vision and they are as excited about it as you are. So those are the people you definitely want to help, especially when you're putting together an event.
That support team, it's definitely a blessing to have.
Wow. Now we talked about you mentioned about engaging, the audience. So tell us, what's the best way to engage your audience, especially during a virtual event, because you're kind of here and you're looking in a camera and they're on the other side, so you have to do things to keep them engaged. And then what about the ones that just don't turn the camera on?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, I love them. So it's all about really creating that community. So
Mhm.
if we were in person, I have some clients that are like, if we were in person, would you walk around with a bag on your head? That's essentially what you're doing on a virtual live event when your camera's off,
Mhm.
right? Not
Mhm.
that we want to make people feel bad or, they could be eating and they don't want to show everybody they're eating or whatever. The kids are running around in the background. I get it, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of it starts with the vision ahead of time and telling people literally, this is how to show up for the event so you get the most out of it.
Right.
Be upfront, be legit. Tell them, okay, we're going to be doing exercises. We're going to be, getting into the nitty gritty. Make sure you block off your calendar to be with us for 3 days. I guarantee you, if you do this, you're going to be able to achieve whatever the event promise is that you're offering. And that's why they're coming in the first place,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
that's one way. Now, during the event itself, we do long events. We're doing 8 hours a day. Okay. How in the world are we keeping people with us for 8 hours a day and they end up looking at their watch and they're like, fudge, we're already at the end of day one? Like, how did that happen? There's a couple things that we do.
Mhm. Okay.
So one of the things that we add to all of our run shows is we sprinkle in movement and we also sprinkle in multiple sets because we want to keep things visually appealing.
Okay.
When you're in a virtual event, you have a static shot that's in front of you.
Mhm.
But when we're in a studio, whether we create the studio in your home office or you go to one of our studios, we bring in multiple camera angles.
Okay.
So that way we're getting the shot from behind looking towards the audience and seeing what it is that you see. We've
Mm.
got camera angles from the side. We've got the camera angle right on. So
Okay.
that changes. Just like if you were watching a movie, we want to make sure that we're keeping it visually appealing and people are continuing to be drawn into what's happening. So
Mm.
movement and multiple sets.
Mm.
You can also incorporate interactive sets. So when you're in a studio and you don't need a whole lot of space to do this, I literally had a client where the MC was right here and the event host was right here, but
Mhm.
because we had two different cameras on them, you couldn't tell they were right next to each other. So we would
Okay.
switch between the cameras, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that helps. We also want to make sure that you are using and engaging with them on your content. Okay. What I mean by this. So, for example, you don't want a content dump. People can only take so much information. So, similar to what we've kind of done here, I've taught ticket map. In the ticket map, I had you pull out a piece of paper and start writing down what it is I'm saying. So instead of me just talking it to you, I've got you now engaged with a different medium and writing it all out so you can visually see it, you can hear me saying it, and you capture it in a different way. What I could have told you is all the ways that you could have filled your ticket map. I
Okay.
didn't. I've shortened it down to probably a key 6. So that's something you want to make sure that you're also taking a look at is whether or not you've got the 12 keys that help you X, Y, and Z. Don't share all 12 keys. You can, let me go back a minute. You can share all 12 keys, but only really dive deep into 6 of them. Okay. People
Okay.
can only handle so much information. And when you do it, you want to teach the content, you
Mhm.
want them to experience the content, maybe
Mhm.
go into a breakout session room and have them share as a group of what they learned out of it, and then come back to the bigger group and share as a community. So in a 90-minute segment, we could be teaching, they can be writing something out, they would go into a breakout session room, they would come back and share as a group, and that's going to take you 90 minutes to do.
Mhm.
So that's how we keep it moving. Another way we help keep it moving is like you've done here. You play videos, you
Mhm.
play music, right?
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
another way of switching it
Okay.
because one of the key pieces I learned from one of my clients is he says, we're not competing with other events. We're competing with Netflix,
Ah.
right?
Okay.
So when you're
Okay.
thinking about a movie or when you're thinking about Netflix, how do they keep you engaged for 2 hours? We need to be thinking along those lines as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Didn't think about that, but that definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Wow. Wow. Well, my the producer Mark, he said that that they just had a 3-day women's event at the Cultural Center and in Durham, and he said that all of them love supporting the event, and the group was called Repurpose.
Oh,
So
I love
you
that.
know, it's one of those things where you it as a company and as working with women, you want to I had an event years ago. It was wait before the pandemic and all of that, but I
Mhm.
haven't done one since, and that's why I said I've had people asking me, when are you
When
gonna
you doing it? When you coming back?
do an event? And it's just that when I think about it, I even had one of my friend of mine. She just told me pretty much just last week at a restaurant. We were just sitting down talking and having lunch, and she said, well, when are you going to do it? Why are you dragging your feet on this? I'm like,
Right?
I'm thinking in the back of my head because it's so much to do.
There is a lot. There is a lot. And that's why a lot of our clients hire us is because they're like, I just want to show up and do what I do best. Can I just do that? And I'm like, yes, you can. I do need you for some pieces. Like, I need your vision. I need you to run a show. What are you teaching? Like, I do need you for that. But you
Mhm.
don't need to be finding the hotel. You don't need to be talking about food and beverage. You don't need to be like talking to the team and getting the volunteers set up. Like, let me take that off your plate. And so you show up and love on your audience. That's your genius. That's what you do best. I can't do that for your audience.
Right.
Only you can. Yeah. Yeah. We spend probably a good 100+ hours pre-event
Mhm.
working for our clients on different tasks and things.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot. I mean,
it can be a lot.
it's a lot to do. I mean, as an event planner, I'm sure there's a lot more because if you try to do it yourself, you're gonna miss, like you said. a lot of stuff that you should do that you probably wouldn't even think about doing. So tell me, what should I watch out for when planning an event?
Yeah, you should definitely be watching out for the 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 little sneaky pieces that end up creeping into your budget that you don't realize you need, right? Is and you're like, oh wait, I didn't think about that. Oh no, oh wait, hold on. That you have to have that too? Oh shoot. And now you're kind of dreading doing it
Mhm.
um, because you just didn't know what you didn't know, right? So that's one piece is making sure that you are going through the 5 event fundamentals and you are looking at your budget ahead of time. You are looking at your run a show. You are looking at your ticket map. You're looking at how you're engaging the audience. One of the biggest things I see people doing, and I mean, I'm in this space, so it kind of shocks me. But if I were to think about it from their perspective, it makes sense. A lot of my clients, all of my clients, they are givers.
Mhm.
They want to love on their audience. They want to give them everything, right? Let me just tell you exactly how you need to do this to fix whatever it is we're fixing.
Mhm.
They forget to give them a call to action to support them in their next best steps. They forget to give them an offer. They forget that once you fix one problem, another one shows up. And that's one of the biggest things that I see people totally forget to do it is go, this is how, if you want some accountability, if you want extra support, if this has brought up extra questions for you, this is how I can support you going forward. And they forget to do that. And I think that's a missed opportunity. And it's also something that your audience really needs you to do. Right? They're like, yes, I'm leaning in, everything. Yes, this is fantastic. And then you let them go. And they're just like, wah, wah, now what do I do?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, one of the biggest mistakes is they forget to have some type of call to action, whether
Right.
it be you're on a Facebook Live and it's, a simple, hey, if this has resonated with you and you want to be on my email list, type in me and
Mhm.
I will reach out to you personally and give you the link, right?
Right.
Something as simple as that. But
Yeah.
every event you're doing, you should have some type of call to action.
Wow. Mark again said, the producer, he said that a friend of his says everyone is a producer until it's time to cut the check. And he said that you must have a plan and not just a dream.
Come on, Mark.
So true. So tell us, why should we hire a certified event producer?
Yes, absolutely. So, a certified event producer is somebody that is wanting to not only help you take your vision and implement it for you, but I also want to make sure that we're helping you make money at doing your events and not having it be a lost leader for you. It also is somebody that's going to take things off of your plate so you are not thinking about everything.
Right.
That's really the beauty of doing events with us is we love the logistics. We're a little crazy with our spreadsheets.
Mhm.
um, and we are experts in what we do. You're an expert in what you do and how you get your clients crazy awesome results. We're an expert at making it so you can show up and shine on stage and reach your audience. It's part of our goal and mission to really lock arms with heart-centered leaders that are making a difference in the world
Mhm.
and create a wave of change together. So, yes, there's a lot of logistics. Things can be more complicated than you might think. Things
Mhm.
are ever changing in this space.
Mhm.
But we're in it all day, every day, and we can take that off your plate, take all the details off so that you can completely be in that zone of genius, be on stage, get them crazy awesome results so that they can continue working with you and be in your community because that's what your audience wants. They don't want you focused on what's happening next. Am I supposed to go to a break? Are we going to lunch? I don't, I've been having this divine download and just pouring into my people. You can't flip into logistic brain. let us support you in doing that.
And helping with negotiating that hotel.
Oh, the hotels, Dr. Madeline. Oh my goodness, they're crazy right now. They are crazy, and I feel for them. Like they are not up to staff. They're handling the work double or triple the work than what they had to in the past because they haven't been able to hire back people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they are so behind, and it helps to have somebody like myself follow up with them constantly
Right.
in order to get the answers we need so you have a successful event.
Wow.
Mhm.
So tell us, Shay, if you had one piece of advice to leave with our viewers about event planning or planning their event, what would that advice be?
Mhm. My advice would be, 1, to figure out what phase of business that you're in to determine what events you should be using to grow your business, and use events as a part of your business plan to be strategic with it, and then go out there and serve your audience.
Wow. Wow. Also, I know that you have a giveaway. You want to tell us what that is? I don't want to forget that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've mentioned it a few times, a few different phases. So there are 5 phases of event leverage. And what I have for your audience is a gift for them to actually figure out what phase they're currently in. So it's a downloadable, it's got a little flow chart where you can go yes, no. Okay, I'm in phase 2, I'm in phase 4. And then it's also going to tell you how to go from each phase to the next phase, so that you can really, really focus in on, okay, I'm in phase 2. I'm in visibility. My goal is to get more visible. I need to get on these free platforms. And by the time I hit this goal and this marker, that's how I move to phase 3. And so you don't have like the shiny object syndrome. You know exactly what you need to do to grow your business to the next step. And the best way that they can do that is go to 5phases.info, and that's spelling out the word 5, F-I-V-E, phases with an S.info /success for women. And that's the number 4.
Wow. Great. Thank you so much. Also, let us know how we can get in touch with you. If someone wants to, contact you about their event, planning their event, how can they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are on all of the social medias, either under Shay Wheat or Grace and Ease Productions. You can also do the website, graceandeaseproductions.com. And we also have a Facebook group if you wanted to jump in there. I'm constantly putting out what's working, what's not working, what are tips, what am I seeing, with hotels and AV companies, and, your content, your run of shows. So social media has a lot of great resources as well.
Wow. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you on the show and sharing. Oh my goodness, you just given me some new thoughts about that, and also knowing that I can't do this by myself, and so I am definitely not going to try and do it to put this event together. But it's been great having you on the show, sharing your nuggets. So thank you again. My guest tonight has been Shay Wheat. She's a certified event producer. Make sure that you get her free gift. The link is going across the screen. 5phases.info/success for women. So make sure you get that free gift. You have been listening to the Successful Women Show. I'd like to thank my viewers and the listeners for joining us tonight. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me at info@exwsi.com, or go to my website, www.exwsi.com. And while you're there, make sure you download my free 3-part video series on 3 things every woman should do to position herself for executive leadership. I'd also like you to sign up for my online course, which is Crack the Career Code: How to Lead with Confidence, Charisma, and Credibility. To sign up for the course, you can go to www.crackthecareercode.com gmail.com. You can also reach out to me at on any of the social media sites. I also want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you definitely share this episode. And I'd also want to give you some upcoming, tell you about some upcoming events that we're going to be having. Join me on September 9th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. To 12 noon for our monthly Entrepreneurial Connections event. And of course, this is for business-minded women, business women, that you'll be able to tell everyone what you do and what you need for your business. You have to register. So to do so, just contact me again at info@exwsi.com. On September 13th, also mark your calendar for an online workshop on discover how to leverage government contracts for your business. This will be hosted by Colleen Biggs. It starts at 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. To register for this, you would go to www.colleenbiggs.net. Also, make sure that you join us September 18th through the 25th, 2022, of course, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Black Business Olympics. The Black Business Olympics will showcase Black business owners, Black businesses, thought leaders, and corporations for 24 hours, 7 days straight. And of course, the Black Business Olympics serves as a fundraiser for students to obtain scholarships and also laptops for school. If you know a student that are on their way or heading to college and needs a laptop, then to apply for the student scholarship, you can go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. That's www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. And I continue to tell you all to make sure that you watch my TEDx talk that I did in December. The topic is Show Up to Rise Up. It's on YouTube, and it has now hit over 100,000 views. I am so excited. My goal is 1 million plus. And so make sure you go out to YouTube and take a look at it. If you have a comment, leave a comment. But it's on YouTube, you can put my name in the search box, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, or you can email me at info@exwsi.com, and I will send you the direct link so that you can watch it. Again, I want to thank my guest, Shay Wheat. She has been phenomenal tonight, giving us information on how to put together an event, some of the things that we need to look for as we plan our event. Again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share and like this episode. You're listening to the Successful Women Show. We're here every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, and my mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Again, thank you to my guest, Shay Wheat. Thank you to my viewers for joining us tonight. I love you all to life. And as always, be well and stay safe out there. Good night.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.